Fast fashion. So what is greenwashing? Greenwashing is defined as disinformation disseminated by an organization so as to present an environmental responsible public image. An example of this would be plastic water bottles with nature images on them, because the companies can get you to think that the water bottles are going to be recycled, but unfortunately they don't, and end up being littered or in landfills. What is wrong with that? Three main things that are wrong with greenwashing are it's misleading to consumers, harmful to the environment, and terrible for business. A company or a brand can say that its newest clothing item is made from recycled fibers or water bottles, getting buyers to buy it just because it is good for the environment, when in reality, the company is just saying it for appearance sake. It is harmful to the environment because if the consumer believes the product is eco-friendly and is being made in an eco-friendly way, it only encourages the company to keep making it, harming the environment. Lastly, it is terrible for business because once the truth comes out, it won't be pretty. The company might lose more money due to people not shopping at their stores because they have lied, versus them losing money actually making an eco-friendly product. The company could be canceled. Which leads us to the topic of fast fashion. Fast fashion is inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass-marketed retailers in response to the latest trends. It's an issue today more than ever because we are more connected than ever. We are able to see what is on luxury brands' runways and get it for a fraction of the cost. Social media influence us saying that we need this top or pants, or these pants are a dupe of a more expensive brand. I mean, how many TikTok videos have you watched where an influencer shows the camera what they bought and ends the video saying, "This is all linked in my Amazon storefront." And this is all happening just so we can seem relevant, to seem cool. And guess what? Your favorite brands are guilty of using fast fashion. Some include Shein, Forever 21, Lululemon, American Eagle, and Abercrombie & Fitch. Then, of course, there are brands that are saying that they are eco-friendly but have been caught lying. H&M burns their unsold clothes. Zara doesn't pay its garment workers livable wages and doesn't list what is actually going in their clothing items. Amazon constantly keeping up with the fast-changing trends with their storefront, and Nike not paying their textile employees fair wages. Not only are your favorite brands using fast fashion, but your favorite celebrities market off it by being the face of the brand or encouraging you as a consumer to buy their favorite product. Why is this an issue? Well, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's inexpensive, especially when our planet is at stake. It is an issue for the environment because of pollution from making the clothes. 15% of plastic is embedded in our clothing, not to mention the amount of clothing that already goes into landfills. It is also responsible for 20% of water pollution from textile treatment and dyeing. Fast fashion also leaves a pretty heavy carbon footprint. According to Ethical Consumer, fast fashion is responsible for 10% of emissions from greenhouse gases, and in 2030 is estimated to be responsible for 50% of it. Not only is it bad for the environment, but also a terrible working environment for employees. Terrible wages, as these employees aren't getting half of minimum wage. A case study done in China looked at popular brands that are known for using fast fashion and deep dived into how, even though they knew they were doing a bad thing, how they were still able to make sales. So how were they able to do this? Well, these brands looked at what will make their company successful and went all in, making clothes making clothing cheaper so they could sell it at a fraction of the cost, spending less money on promoting their brands. For example, Zara keeps its inventories very lean, meaning it avoids profit-damaging promotions and sales. It avoids advertising in order to cut down on the costs. It spends just 0.3% of sales on ads, compared with the 3 to 4% typically spent by rivals. They also create strong customer loyalty to the brand. That way, customers trust the brand, and if they do take a hit, they won't lose nearly as many customers, keeping the revenue coming in. To recap, so far we have discussed what greenwashing is and what the effects of it can be. We've learned about fast fashion and why it is relevant today, who contributes to it, and what issues it imposes. After some further investigating, there are solutions to stop/minimize fast fashion. 3 possible solutions are shopping alternate brands, making policies and new ways consumers can start shopping, and ways they can take a hold of the situation. Looking at solution 1, we can shop for alternate brands like Reformation and Patagonia. These brands that are eco-friendly, they have fair wages for their textile employees, and they use sustainable fabrics. Pros of shopping alternate brands would obviously be better quality clothing and more ethical and environmental friendly. Though, with that being said, in order to have better quality clothing and to be more ethical, this means the price of the product increases significantly. We will talk more about this in Solution 3. Another solution would be to make policies that these companies would have to follow, like companies putting money towards making eco-friendly products and becoming conscious of what they are using to make their clothes, donating your clothes back to the company so they can upcycle them, or even going as far as banning clothes in landfills. 2 cities in Ontario, Canada did this, and it forced people to repurpose their clothing. Pros of this would obviously be slowing down fast fashion use, though the cons would be having the government or even companies passing these policies. It would take a long time, as this isn't something that just happens overnight. For our third solution, we explore what we can do as shoppers. Buying secondhand, whether it's thrifting with your friends or scrolling on apps like Poshmark. Buying from more ethical companies, if you're looking for something specific that you can't find secondhand. Lastly, be cautious of what you already own. Donating or selling stuff that you don't wear anymore. Create a timeless wardrobe and not play keeping up with the trends. Pros of this are shopping secondhand can be less expensive than even buying trending clothing pieces, and you are only wearing things that you love. The cons of this are buying from ethical brands can be more expensive. This is because they want you to buy a shirt that is good quality that will last you a lifetime. Buying secondhand can also be time-consuming. Not everyone has the time to search hours on end for that perfect piece. Therefore, fast fashion is something that is happening before our very eyes. But with a little bit of work, we can slow it down by being cautious with our shopping sprees, voting for policy changes, and maybe even buying something secondhand, because who doesn't love something vintage?